Welcome everyone to Yoga Basics. Today you will need your yoga strap, a block, and have your chair ready also. And then sitting comfortably on the mat. Again, I recommend sitting on some folded blankets, or you could even try sitting on your block if that makes it more comfortable. Legs are either folded or extended out in front of you. And we'll just take a few moments to prepare. So closing the eyes and just turning the attention inward. As you take note as to how your body feels. Especially noting any areas of tension or tightness. And then we'll take 2 deep cleansing breaths. So take a nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And one more nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And then soften the muscles of the face. Relax the muscles of the neck and the shoulders. And then turn the attention to the breath. Notice the inhale. And notice the exhale. And then we'll begin a nice, even breathing, inhaling and exhaling to a count of 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And just continue this nice, even breathing. If at any time it makes you lightheaded or dizzy, just go back to your own normal breathing pattern. And then we also set an intention for each practice to help remind us why we are here. So that may be a benefit you would like to receive, or just an uplifting or a positive thought or phrase. So think of an intention that you'd like to have for your practice today. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. If you do have your legs folded and you want to change that top leg, go ahead and do that. And then we'll begin the warm-up by turning our heads to look out over that right shoulder. And coming back to center and turning to look out over the left. And back to center, dropping the chin to the chest. And then picking the chin up towards the ceiling and jutting that lower jaw out. And coming back to center and dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. And back to center and left ear to left shoulder. And back to center, extending the hands out in front of you as you open and close the fingers. And then some wrist circles. And reverse. Good. And placing the hands in the lap and then doing some shrugs. And then the next time you pick the shoulders up, roll them to the back. Good. And bringing the elbows and hands in front of you, bring the elbows and palms together and clasp those hands. And with an inhale, extend the elbows out, lift the chin and chest. And then as you exhale, folding into center, bring the elbows together, drop the chin. Good. Inhale, expand. Exhale, folding into center. Inhale, expand. Exhale, center. And one more, inhale and exhale. And then releasing the hands down, take that right hand, place it to the outside of that right hip. Inhale, left arm up, and exhale, bend to the right. And then coming back to center, switch arms, inhale, exhale to the left. Good. Coming back to center, coming into a twist. So left hand on the right knee, inhale to lengthen, and exhale, turn and look to the right. Good. Release to center, switch hands, inhale and exhale, turn to the left. Good. Releasing back to center, and then extending, if you had the legs crossed, just extend the legs, shake them out a little bit. And then placing the hands behind the right thigh, just pull that thigh in as you bend and extend the knee. And then the next time you pull the knee in, hold it there, point and flex the foot. And then some ankle circles. And reverse. Good. And then switch legs. Same thing. Just bend and extend. Good. And then hold that knee in as you point and flex the foot. And circles. And reverse. Good. And then bring that left foot down, and we'll go ahead and come onto hands and knees for cat-cow, our spinal warm-up. So place the wrists under the shoulders, knees stacked under the hips. And with an inhale, then lift the chest and the sits bones. And with your exhale, press into your hands as you round the spine, dropping the chin to the chest. And then inhale back to cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then bringing the spine back to neutral and then coming into child's pose. Please modify if you need to. You can place something across the calves to support the hips. Grab your block or stack your fists to support the forehead. And just take a few breaths here. Good, and then extending the arms out in front, coming back up to hands and knees, and then either puppy pose, extending those arms out in front onto the fingertips and dropping the head and chest down, or downward facing dog, pressing into the hands as you lift the hips. Press back to extend through the arms. Keep a bend in the knees. And just continue to breathe. If you want to, walk the dog by extending one leg and then the other. Good. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and lower your knees down. And then take those lower legs, swing them to the side. Bring the hips down and take those legs out in front of you. Now, we're going to come down on our backs for a little more warm-up. So just rolling on your side, lower yourself down and onto your back. All right, so bending the knees, bring your feet up. We're going to start with some pelvic tilts just to warm up the low back. So as you lay here, you have that little sway in your low back. So now what we're going to do is with your exhale, you're going to press your waist into the floor. So you've eliminated that the sway in the low back. Now with the inhale, you're going to tip your pelvis forward. So think of pulling your pubic bone down towards the mat. So now I'm arching. And then exhale. Press that low back into the mat. Inhale, I'm going to push it forward. So your pelvis is just tilting back and forth. And you'll do that with an exhale, press and inhale as you push it forward. And just do that a few times, just nice and easy. There shouldn't be any pain or discomfort here. So if that happens, maybe you're arching, I'm thinking maybe a little too much, so back off of that a little bit. Just loosening up those muscles. Good. All right, then bringing the spine back to neutral, pick your feet up off the floor and just hug those knees in towards you. So we're just going to do a little stretching routine here. So we're hugging our knees. Now bring your feet down, slide them down the mat, and extend those arms and get a nice big stretch. Good. Now bring those feet back in, hug those knees. Try it again, extending out. Press through those heels and fingertips. Good. And last time, slide those feet up, hug those knees. And extend, stretch, stretch, stretch. Good. All right, slide those feet in, hug the knees. Now, you're going to hug the left knee And you're going to extend just the right leg and the right arm. So we're just going to do one side at a time. Good. Slide that back in and switch. Left leg, and you're just hugging that right knee in. Good. Pull it back in. Let's try it once more each side. Good. And switch. Good. Hug those knees. And now we're going to come into a twist. So we're going to hug, and then we're going to drop the knees to the right. And then bring them back to center, hug them, drop them to the left. Good. Back to center, give them a little hug, and right. Good. Back to center, little hug, and drop them to the left. Good. And then coming back to center, that final little hug. If you want to extend the knees a little bit and do some circles, go ahead and do that. Maybe a little rock, side to side, whatever feels good. Good. And then from here, if you're rocking, just rock on over to one side and push yourself back up. And then from here, we will come up to standing. And then just make sure that you've got your chair nearby. We will come into tree pose. Otherwise, we're just going to stand on the mat, feet just about hip width apart as we come into Tadasana. So finding those four corners of the feet, distributing the weight between the balls of the feet and the heels. You should be able to wiggle those toes. Good. And then tightening the front of the thighs. Lift and tighten the abdominals. Focus on the spine, lengthening up from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Arms are alongside the body, palms facing each other. Good. Pick the shoulders up as you roll them down the back, lifting the chest. Good. Keeping the chin parallel to the floor as you gaze forward. And just come back to that nice, even breathing. Good. And then after your next exhale, we'll go ahead and widen our stance. So you want to have your feet as wide as you safely can. So definitely wider than your hips. And then we're going to bring our arms up to shoulder height and just pause here for a moment in what we call star pose. Now I like to use this as a little glute strengthener. So you're going to feel this in the glutes. All right, so this is a little isometric exercise. I want you to pretend that you're trying to slide those feet to the outer edges of your mat. And as you push into your feet, those outer edges of your feet, you should feel that up here in those glutes. Good, and continue to breathe. Good, and then go ahead and bring the arms down. And then from here, just pull your heels in a little bit, turn the toes out, and we're going to come into a deep squat. So starting to warm up these hips. Begin to bend the knees. As you exhale, come on down. Now look at your knees and align your feet so that your knees can stay in line with your toes. So you may have to turn your feet out a little more or bring them in. Just put your hands right here, those leg creases. You want to keep the chest lifted. Let me turn sideways so you can see. I am at a little angle, so I have a little bit of my weight in my hips. I'm not here. I'm keeping my chest lifted. Good, and continue to breathe. Good, then to come up, press into those heels and come on up. Let me switch back over here. Now, from here, just turn your left foot forward. Continue turning that right foot out. Line up the right heel with the instep of the left foot. And we'll come into warrior two. So we're going to bend that right knee, stack it over the ankle. Again, you want to keep your knee in line with the toes. So make sure it tends to kind of fall forward. Good. From the waist up, you're going to turn and face forward. And then if your shoulders are okay, you can inhale, lift the arms. You're always welcome to put one arm on the hip if need be. And then turn to look out over the middle right finger. Again, keep breathing. Good. And then from here, we're going to come into side angle. So the legs don't move. Take a nice big inhale. With your exhale, lean to the right. Take that right forearm and place it on the right thigh. If your left shoulder is okay, then you're going to sweep that left arm up next to the ear, or you can keep it on your hip. Good. Try to focus on that left shoulder. Did I say right arm? I'm sorry, I meant left. Focus on that left shoulder and chest. You want to keep it open. Good. And keep breathing. Good. And then with the inhale, come back up to warrior two. Straighten that right knee. Exhale, bring the arms down. And then we'll turn that right foot in. We're going to try it on the other side. Good. And then go ahead and bend that left knee. You've lined up the left heel with the instep of the right foot. Good. And then again from the waist up, facing forward. With your next inhale, lifting the arms, or now keeping the left hand on the hip, right hand on the hip, if need be. And then turn to look out over that middle left finger. Good. Come back to your nice, even breathing. And then coming into side angle, take a nice big inhale. Again, legs don't move. Just lean to the left. Now left arm, or left forearm on the thigh, and then bringing the right arm either up next to the ear or on the hip. And again, opening up that right shoulder and chest. Good. And continue to breathe. And then with the next inhale, we'll lift the torso back up, straighten the left knee, go ahead and relax the arms down, turn that left foot in, and then we'll do a little heel toe, until you can step the legs together. Go ahead and shake out those legs. So we're going to come into tree pose. If you would like to grab your chair to help with your balance, go ahead and do that. So we'll start with the right side near the back of the chair. So you want to find those four corners of the right foot And then shift the weight into the right leg. You're going to tighten up the front of that thigh. Bend the left knee. Take it out on that diagonal. Now you can slide the foot over. Keep your toes on the floor. Balance here. Or keeping a hand on the chair, maybe pick that foot up to the outside of the calf. Or even pulling that foot up to the inner thigh. Kind of depends what kind of pants you have on, because sometimes that foot tends to slip. Anyway, then bring the left hand to the heart. Maybe let go here. You're welcome to stay here. Or extend either one or both arms up. You can do this. Find your gazing point. Good. Continue to breathe. Good. And then with your exhale, go ahead and release the arms. Release that left leg. Shake out that right leg. Just kind of walk it out. Excuse me. And then we'll try it on the other side. All right. So here we go. Shifting the weight over to the right leg. I'm sorry, to the left leg. I'll get it straight yet. And then bend your right knee. You're going to take it out on that diagonal. You can stay right here with toes on the floor. You can pick up that foot to the outside of the calf, or you can bring it to the inner thigh. Again, you can keep a hand on the chair, stay here. So whatever is a challenge for you. And maybe today, like this is my less stable side. I'm not sure. I'm going to give it a try here. Good. Find that gazing point. Keep everything nice and tight. Abs are tight. Standing leg tight. Imagine you're holding a beach ball if your arms are extended. Arms are tight. Good. And then with the exhale, go ahead and release those arms. Release that right leg. And again, just shake out that left leg. Walk it out. Good. All right. From here, we're going to come down on the mat. And we're going to start with a little core work, which is going to be plank pose. So you'll want to come down, walk yourself down. Now, plank can either be done on the forearms or on your hands. So however you normally do a plank, if you do it on the forearm, then just lower yourself down. Make sure your elbows are right underneath the shoulders. And then just lifting the hip, or lifting the knees and the hips, or on the hands. All right, I usually do plank on my hands, and so I'm going to stay here. I'm going to come up a little bit. All right, so whatever is your plank position, go ahead and come into it. I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock. Hold it for as long as you can. Take a break if you need to. All right, here we go. Now, tighten your abdominals. That will help protect the low back. Continue to breathe. This is just building body strength. Take a break. Come back up. It's just a matter of building time. Good. All right. Go ahead and rest it out. If you did do it on your hands like I did, then from here, go ahead and lower yourself down to the mat. Otherwise, stay in this pre-plank position here if you're already down. So we do want to have the elbows under the shoulders, hands extended here. And we'll just take a moment to kind of warm up the back before we come into locust. So this is our Sphinx pose. Lift the chest. So press into the forearms as you lift the chest. Keep the neck in line with the spine as you gaze forward. Good, and just take a few breaths. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and as you begin to lower your chest down, bring your arms alongside the body and just turn your head to either side. Let your cheek rest on the mat and just completely relax it out. Good, and then turning your head so that now your chin is pointing down at the mat. We'll prepare for locust pose. So we'll start with the legs. Lift up that right leg just a few inches off the mat. Reach through your big toe. Point your big toe, really reach through it. And then you're going to rotate the leg so the thigh rotates inward. And then lay that leg back down and try it with the left. Same thing. Reach through that big toe and then rotate the thigh inward. So when you lay the leg back down, you can feel those heels have fallen out to the side. Good. And then take your tailbone, pull it down towards your heels. And then the pubic bone, you're going to press into the mat. Now the arms, you can leave them with the palms up. If you want to rotate and put the palms down, you can do that. Or you can keep the arms behind you, press the palms towards each other, or clasp the hands. So any of those, whatever is the most comfortable for you. I think I'm going to do palms down, actually. All right, and then with your next inhale, press that pubic bone into the mat. Begin to lift the torso, starting with the back of the neck, the shoulders, and the chest, and then the legs. And keeping the neck in line with the spine, just continue to breathe. Good, and then with your exhale, lower yourself back down. Turn your head the opposite direction that you had it before. Completely relax. You can turn the palms up alongside the body and just take a few breaths. And then take your hands, slide them up under the shoulders, curl your toes, push yourself back up into hands and knees. Then take your knees, widen them to the edges of the mat, have your big toes touching, and then come back into child's pose. Again, if you want to grab a block to rest your head on, your forehead, or just stack your fists. And we'll take a few breaths here, just releasing that low back. And then with your next inhale, as you lift the torso, go ahead and slide your legs underneath you so that you can extend, sweep them around and bring them out in front of you. And then grab your blanket, your folded blanket, and your strap. And either sitting on your blanket or even sitting on your block, we're going to come into a twist. So I kind of like this particular twist on the block. So I'm going to sit up on the block. All right. So you have two options here. You can keep the right knee extended if you need to. Otherwise, bend your left knee, then bend the right knee, take your hand, grab your right ankle, and bring it underneath that left leg and over to the outside of the left hip. So if that bothers your knee, just keep that right knee extended. That's okay. And then you're going to pick up the left foot and you're going to bring it to the outside of the right knee. So we're going to be turning to the left. And here's where, if you're sitting on the block, you want to have your weight evenly distributed on the block. Then with an inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, focus on those lower right ribs. So begin to turn the ribs to the left. Take that right hand and hug that left knee in towards you. And then bring the left hand around behind you, maybe fingertips, whatever you need to kind of use it as a kickstand and help support the spine. Good, and continue to breathe. Good, and then releasing the twist. Go ahead and remove that left foot, extend the right leg if you had it bent under the left, just shake it out a little bit. And then we'll try it on the other side. So bend the right knee. Again, you can leave that left leg extended, or bending it, just grab onto the ankle, bring it to the outside or towards the right hip. And then pick up the right foot, step it to the outside of the left knee. Take a nice big inhale, and then exhale as you begin the twist. Then wrap that left arm around the right knee, and I'm going to pull it in, hug it towards the midline, and then bring that right hand around behind me as I turn and look to the right. Good, and then release back to center. Go ahead and release the right foot and the left leg. Again, if you want to extend the legs and just kind of shake it out. And then coming off your block, but coming onto your folded blanket, and have your strap nearby here. All right, so we're going to start by extending the legs in a wide V, and then taking the right foot, again, bend the knee, pull that right foot in towards the center. So you have the left leg angled a little bit, so it's not right in front of you, but angled to the side. So similar to Janu Sirsasana, which is this, only my leg is out to the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a little bend to the left. So here's where your strap will come in handy. So putting the strap around the ball of that left foot and holding on to it with that left hand. Okay. Another option, if you're a little more flexible as we bend, you can even grab that left foot. All right, so first of all, take a nice big inhale, and then with the exhale, we're going to begin to bend to the left. So you're either holding onto your strap or the foot. Now, the key is the right shoulder and chest. So you don't want to come forward like this. We want to open that up. So here's where your strap will be handy. Maybe you need to come up a little bit so that you can open up to the right. And I usually just put my right hand on my hip. That really helps me to open up that chest and shoulder, and then I turn to look to the right. Good, and continue to breathe. Good, and then release, bring that torso back up, and we'll try it on the other side. Also, if the bent knee side tends to stay up a little bit, you can always pop your block under it, or if you have an extra blanket, roll the extra blanket if you want to help that to relax too. All right, so we're going to change legs. So now that right leg again is on that diagonal. Just bring that left foot in close. Put your strap across the ball. That right foot, you're going to hold it with the right hand. And then make sure that this left shoulder stays open. Let's take a nice big inhale. And then exhale, begin to lean to the right. If you can, without coming forward and rounding the spine, you can hold on to your big toe with that right hand or the outside of the foot, or just use your strap. Good. And then I put my left hand on my waist as I open up that left shoulder and chest and look to the left. And breathe. Good, and then release. Go ahead and bring that torso up. Good. All right. So now we're going to extend the legs out in front of us. We're going to do a little hip opener. I want you to be extremely careful here. If this is too much for your hip, if you've been told not to do an extreme external rotation, then simply go back to laying on your back and just do our pigeon. Remember, which is this. You just cross one foot over the bent knee and just relax there while we try rock baby. All right, so let's keep the left knee straight. Bend your right knee, slide that right foot in towards you, and then you're going to wrap your right arm around the right thigh, holding on near the shin, and take that either left hand, hold on to your left foot, or possibly cradling that foot in the left elbow. Your hip probably has to be pretty flexible. The key here is to not round the lower back. So I'm not here, I'm keeping my chest lifted. So if that means I'm just holding my leg out here, you're still stretching through that hip. You just want to hold on to it, because then we're going to start this little rocking. Good. So keeping the back straight. And sitting on your blanket helps a lot with that. That prevents that rounding also. Good. And again, if this is too much for you, just go to laying on your back and doing our reclined pigeon. That's a wonderful hip stretch. Good. All right, release that right leg. Let's try it on the left. And you're probably going to be a little tighter on one side than the other. So you're just going to wrap that left arm around, hug that knee in, and then whatever's comfortable with that right hand holding on to the foot or ankle. This is my less flexible side, so I'm not going to be able to hug it in too far. Good, just enough that I can hold on to it, and then do this little rocking motion forward and back. There shouldn't be any pain or discomfort here. Good. A couple more seconds here on this side. Good. Hopefully if you are on your back, you switched legs. All right, release that left leg. Bring your hands around behind you so they can support you as you just shake those legs out. If it feels good, you can even bring the feet together and just let those knees out to the side a little bit. Good. All right. From here, I will have you roll onto your side, come down to the mat for Savasana. Pick up anything you need on the way down, an extra blanket, sweaters and socks. And I'm going to remain seated. So as you make your way down to laying on the mat and you get comfortable, just kind of wiggle it out a little bit, maybe wiggle through the shoulders, maybe rolling those feet back and forth just to relax the hips a little bit. And then extending the arms alongside the body, turning the palms up. As you quiet yourself, go ahead and close the eyes. And we'll turn the attention back to the breath. Notice the inhale and notice the exhale. And with your next inhale, let the abdomen rise first, then the chest, filling the lungs all the way up to the collarbones. And then with the exhale, let the collarbones fall first, then the chest, then the abdomen, drawing the navel to the spine. Just take a few of these nice, deep breaths. Then focus on the physical body. Relax all the muscles from the feet all the way up to the crown of the head. Release any tension or tightness. And then focus on the mind. Release any thoughts, worries, or anxieties. And with the next inhale, think the word so. And with the exhale, think the word hum. which means I am. Or use any other words or phrase that has meaning to you. And allow yourself just a few moments to completely let go. Begin to deepen your breath. And then start moving your fingers and toes. And then the wrists and the ankles. And when you're ready, bending both knees and rolling onto your right side in a fetal position. And taking a few breaths here. And then using your left hand to support you, pushing yourself back up into a seated position and keeping the body relaxed and the eyes closed for another moment. Focus on the intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. And then we'll take one more deep cleansing breath. So take a nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And then go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.